Hi, this is Daniel DiTuro. Do you fear, doubt, or feel intimidated by science? In this video, I'll share what is science and everyday life, why some people fear science, good and bad science, and science, politics, and profits. A dictionary's definition of science is the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experimentation. That definition alone is enough to frighten or intimidate millions of people. To put it simply, science is observation and experimentation. There are many branches of science, and within each branch, there are sub-branches. Most people are content the way things are. People working with mathematics, science, engineering, and technology want to know why things are. Most people eating a paleo diet have little or no knowledge of the Paleolithic era. They only know what they've been told and want to believe, like eating grass-fed beef smothered in butter is good. Factual information about the Paleolithic era is available to anyone who wants to research it. One of America's first great scientists was Benjamin Franklin. To most Americans, Franklin is best known as a statesman and founding father. But Franklin was also a keen observer, experimenter, and inventor. Scientists are usually associated with college degrees. Franklin's formal schooling ended at age 10. With no formal training, Franklin invented the lightning rod, bifocal eyeglasses, swim fins, the Franklin stove, and the urinary catheter. Thomas Edison was mostly homeschooled and did not graduate from high school. Leonardo da Vinci was another great observer and thinker with no university degrees. Da Vinci is best remembered for his paintings than for his many inventions and concepts. That is partly due to the fact that many of his concepts were centuries ahead of their time. Many great scientific discoveries went unnoticed or were ignored because the discoverer did not have a college education or was a woman. Our world would be very different without science. The science most people fear or doubt is about biased, controversial, or highly politicized topics. It's ironic that people who fear or doubt science use scientific discoveries every day without giving it a second thought. In fact, some people use technology developed by science to propagate the fear of science. There would be no electric lights, appliances, or electronics without science. Would you prefer oil, gas, or candlelight to electric lights? The gas used for cooking and heating homes is due to science. Today's mobility is due to science. Gasoline was a waste byproduct of oil refining until the invention of the internal combustion engine. Do you know what makes jet air travel possible? Perhaps you prefer the good old days of air travel. It only took 66 years to go from the first powered flight to the first manned moon landing. When you turn on a faucet, you expect safe, potable water. That water may have begun as mountain snow hundreds of miles away. The need for reliable supplies of drinking water has been known for millennia. Science saves lives by tracking hurricanes and typhoons days before they make landfall. GPS would have been impossible without science. Science makes staying connected and accessing information easier than ever before. Even the dumb phone required someone to envision it, invent it, and make it a reality. There would be no radios without science, or television. Most products we rely on would have been impossible without the science of electricity and electronics. Advances in medical science has saved millions of lives and improved the quality of life for millions more. Before cataract removal and lens implant surgery, people lived with blindness or impaired vision. So why do millions of people fear science? For most people, science is complex and incomprehensible. There are the Franklins, Da Vincis, and Edisons who do great things with little or no advanced education. Some call it genius. Most people do not write symphonies or make great scientific discoveries as children. Instead, a career in science begins with 4 or more years of higher education. About 5% of college degrees are in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. For thousands of years, most jobs required no formal education. For millions of people, a degree in accounting, economics, and finance is easier and more rewarding financially. Some people fear science because it threatens their religious beliefs. Galileo was convicted and placed under house arrest for his belief the Earth was not the center of the universe. Today, there is both good and bad science. Special interest groups finance politicians who agree what's good for the corporation overrides what's good for the people or country. Why waste millions of dollars educating and training people to build and maintain wind turbines when it takes no formal education to work as a miner? There is scientific proof humans live longer, healthier lives eating foods with little or no added sugars. The food and beverage industry has funded research studies proving added sugar is an essential energy source. Most fad diets use science to justify dozens of healthy dessert recipes. Most people can live long, healthy lives with little or no added salt. Most prepared foods are loaded with added salt. The food industry uses science to market sweet and salty foods. As far as the food industry is concerned, Americans are overweight and diabetic due to poor diet choices. They claim Americans know the difference between healthy and junk foods, and ignore the fact high-calorie, sugar and sodium foods are affordable, heavily advertised, and conveniently displayed. Then there are people who manipulate science to justify banning foods they claim are toxic or cause sensitivities. As a result, millions of people believe they have one or more food sensitivities. Food sensitivity is a vague term for symptoms not caused by a food allergy or intolerance. There are no accurate tests for food sensitivities, but people spend up to $200 for tests based on television ads and anecdotal testimonials. It's unfortunate some people profit using science to scam people. Most diet research is observational due to the cost and time required for rigorous clinical trials. And yet, some fad diet promoters condemn human observational studies and embrace the results of animal studies. Experts using animal studies to justify their diet plan do not disclose the fact that most animal studies are rarely duplicated in humans. Good science is unbiased. Good science-based conclusions on repeatable observations or experiments. Today, science is used to promote political, social, and ideological agendas. If you oppose abortion, there's scientific evidence about the pain and suffering the fetus experiences during an abortion. There is also scientific evidence refuting those claims. If you oppose vaccines, you'll find plenty of experts with scientific evidence supporting your concerns. By the 1960s, it was obvious cigarette smoking was a leading cause of lung disease, cancer, and death. Scientific studies indicated non-smokers breathing secondhand smoke could also develop lung disease and cancer. Cigarette makers had tons of scientific data documenting the many health benefits of cigarette smoking. It was a battle between personal freedom and big bad government interference. Anti-smoking legislation did not ban adults from smoking or vaping. It reduced the health risks from secondhand smoke in public places. Drinking excess alcohol is another leading cause of death. While the risks associated with drinking and smoking have been known for decades, some people choose to ignore them. Today, climate change has become a highly politicized area of science. Like smoking and drinking, it comes down to big business and politicians placing profits before people. Many Americans firmly believe it's impossible for humans to alter Earth's climate or ecosystem. They have forgotten or ignored the fact it took about one generation of poor farming practices to turn verdant prairie into wasteland. Only humans build concrete and asphalt, heat-absorbing urban islands. Only human mining activities turn lush landscapes into wastelands. Toxic gases from volcanic eruptions can last a few weeks or months. Human activities dump tons of toxic gases into the atmosphere 24 hours a day. Human activities also pollute water and land. 3 natural phenomena can alter or extinguish life on Earth: volcanoes, asteroids, and comets. A warming Earth does not mean everyone will experience warmer temperatures. Ignorant politicians claim record snowfall in some areas of the U.S. is proof the Earth is not warming. Polar ice and glaciers are melting at an accelerated rate. Melting polar and glacial ice can raise sea levels up to 100 feet. If that happens, billions of dollars worth of prime real estate around the world will disappear underwater. Many areas are already experiencing higher tides and storm surges. The irony is the Earth will survive for billions of years, even if it becomes uninhabitable for human life. We love our cars, homes, appliances, and electronics while ignoring their impact on our world. No other creature on Earth creates more waste and pollution than humans. Whether or not you believe in climate change, we all pay a price by wasting natural resources. Science doesn't have all the answers, but using science for gain and profit helps create fear and distrust. That's unfortunate. Without science, the products and services we depend on would not exist. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about this video. Thank you for watching.